Joanna and Friedling will present the AR Foundations and AR Advanced courses that have been developed and conducted by Code Reality. Please, Joanna and Friedling.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks again. We thought we start off with showing you some examples of material that is available as open educational resources. This here is an example from the foundation course. You may have noticed this already in Mark's presentation. The redrawn images here are available to help introduce into the topic of augmented reality and how it differs from different forms of computing, like the graphical user interface, virtual reality, or pervasive computing. Another example on the foundation level here, also redrawn and available to be used, the overview by Bimber and Raskar, differentiating different delivery systems for augmented reality from the devices close to the eye, like a retinal display or something that we are all familiar with now, head-mounted displays, to the kind of environment-oriented, spatially aligned projection and in between the mobile forms or the fixed installed spatial see-through forms, and then some side arms that are not that popular necessarily, that are more specialist equipment like used for museums, head-mounted projectors or handheld projectors. Those two are good examples of what the foundation introduction looks like. If I jump over now to the advanced introduction, you can see that the difference is then that things are going more in depth. So there are more definition parts in the advanced course. For example, here, a system with the layers that matter for augmenting reality, the environment, the augmentation then superimposed using a delivery system, augmented also in different sense. It doesn't have to be a purely visual one, which feeds then into perception and feeds then into our experience, imagination. And as another example for the delivery systems here, now the different types of technologies available for smart glasses, for head-mounted displays, that could be prism-based, which is the Google Glass sort of technology, or beam splitters, that's kind of the cardboard equivalent where you slot a mobile phone into a device with mirrors and lenses that reflect things into your field of view. Or waveguides, that's here the HoloLens, for example, and laser beam scanning is a technology that is coming and hopefully makes things cheaper. Yeah, these are the differences between the courses. Let me just give you an overview on what is all covered in our flavor of the curriculum model you've just heard about. The foundation course covers those 5 areas. So an overview, quite extensively, with introduction to the field, a history of augmented reality, a more in-depth technology overview of what's available, also on a component level, an outlook to research directions, and a reminder of relevant software development methods, and an introduction to human-computer interaction for AR and perceptual augmentations, as well as how AR targets work. On the practical side, then lots of exercises and tutorials from Unity basics to different spatial computing, map, gaze, and gesture exercises, markers and image targets, 3D model making, photogrammetry and animation, and then mixed in some more methodology-oriented UX design unit, as well as a tutorial on how to sharpen your own employability skills and pursue a career in AR. And if we compare that now with the advanced course, then you see that it covers more areas. It covers also then data and AI and hardware. Of course, also has an introduction, but on a deeper level. Of course, also has research directions, but on a deeper level. And more overview on case studies. Then on the HCI methodology side, it's much deeper on UX, UI engineering and design thinking, storytelling, transreality storyboarding, as well as the in-depth computer vision lecture and tutorial, and similarly one on AI dialog understanding. The unit on wearable computing then kind of bridges over to also building systems, not just using them. developing own hardware, interaction hardware, for example, or other sensory actuators that deliver digital input in a different way than just on glasses or projection or mobile, with a complementary tutorial then, of course. And with regards to the other practice sections, of course, there's again a careers one to sharpen thinking about employability, but there is also one that tests evaluation skills, UX design skills, and the practicals for computer vision, volumetric video capture, dialogue understanding, spatial understanding, and collaboration and sharing. Joe.
Thank you. As Fridolin already showed you, that was our plan. That was how we were planning to deliver those courses. And now I will tell you more about the practical implementation of those courses. As you can see on the screen, we were planning for pilots, 2 pilots for Foundations AR and 2 pilots for Advanced AR. For each, we were planning 1 face-to-face event and 1 online course. As we all know, spring 2020 pandemic started, so we had to change a little bit of our plans, but I will tell you about that a little bit later. First pilot we organized, it was AR Foundations course. It was 12 weeks of online course and 1 week of blocked face-to-face full-time classes. We took this blended approach because not all the students could join this 1 week of classes. So we started from classes online where we provided introduction to AR and introduction to Unity. And then students had 1 week of classes where they had mix of lectures, tutorials, and also guest lectures. And after that, they had 8 weeks to design and develop their own AR application. Each 2-3 weeks, they had meetings online and face-to-face if they could join, and that we were providing them a feedback. And after those full 12 weeks, they were presenting demos of their applications. The main challenge of organizing this course, it was that we were trying to do at the same time deliver the course for the students that were present in Oxford. At the same time, we also knew about students that wanted to join, but they couldn't come to Oxford. So we were live streaming all the classes on the social media. And at the same time, also we were recording because we wanted to keep the material to develop next courses. That was quite immense plan. Oh, exactly, as you can see at this picture, we had to purchase camera, microphones, webcasters, and at the end we had to connect many cables each class. It's very challenging task, but once you do it, it's very practical. You can reuse it, and every time you organize an event, you can use the same technology. So at the end, it was a good lesson. Here you can see that was our second pilot of AR Foundations, but it was first online pilot. Here we organized 8 weeks online course, and each week we were delivering 1 lecture, 1 tutorial. So at the same time, we wanted to build students' knowledge and skills to develop AR apps. The main challenge here, it was choosing the learning management system. We were deciding between using institutional platform, which provides support, but we had limited enrollments then. We were thinking about using a commercial platform, but that's not very flexible. It provides many a big outreach, but we could not adapt it to our needs. So finally, we decided to use Moodle and install it on one of the partner universities, so it could be openly available for at the project website. Third pilot we were planning, it was first advanced AR course, and the plan was to organize again 1 week full time blocked courses in one of the partner universities, ITMO University in St. Petersburg. The plan was to organize it in spring 2020, and as we all know, a pandemic started. We had to decide what to do. We still wanted to teach AR and provide students with opportunity to learn, but we wanted to keep students and teachers safe. So the best solution for us was to fully move whole course online. And as we already had the experience from the previous course, we knew a little bit already how to adapt the teaching material to online version. So we decided that that's the best option for us. But as you all know, probably teaching during pandemic is not a typical teaching. There are many constraints that are happening only during pandemic. And with all the universities that were closed, students could not access the campuses. Often they had to leave the accommodation, which meant they had to learn from home. Not always they had good connectivity, not always they had enough devices. The solution for us, we thought, is best to use YouTube as broadcasting channel. So there was not such a problem of connection. And also we decided that we mostly used asynchronous method. So students could access whenever they had time. Also the life, private life and work life balance was distorted. Some students, they had children, some students have family members that needed some support. So we decided to design the learning material in small blocks so they could access whenever they had time. Students that were isolating, often they lacked the feeling of social interactions. So we decided that even though whole course was generally asynchronous, we organized few synchronous events just to give the students the feeling of connection with other students and teachers. And of course, big limitation for AR course was that students couldn't access the hardware. It's difficult to build AR app if you cannot access glasses, but we decided the solution could be using emulators. As you can see at this slide, there were many limitations, but also there were some positives, like, for example, people didn't have to commute. For people with difficulties in interaction, they felt more comfortable accessing online space. So there were not only problems coming out, we also saw some opportunities. Here you can see a screenshot from our YouTube channel. All the videos that we posted in Moodle in Code Reality, they are also, you can also access them in YouTube channel. There are two playlists. There is Foundations and Advanced AR courses playlist. And all the videos from our courses are there. Lectures, they are organized in a way that there are slides in the same template, so students, they feel the feeling of coherence. All presentations, all slides, they look similar, so it's easy to navigate for students. Each lecture consists of a few short blocks, so it can be 3 minutes to 30 minutes, and there are 3, 4, 5 videos for each lecture. Tutorials, of course, we couldn't use the classroom activities for tutorials. So the solution was that some tutorials were organized in a way that there are step-by-step tutorials with videos, with screenshots, and some tutorials are in text format with embed linked videos and screenshots. Here you can see summary of all the decisions we made. First decision was to to open the course to wider audience and organize in a MOOC format. This way we could access students not only from our partner universities, but from general audience. Second decision was, as we didn't organize face-to-face event, it was online, there was no need to travel, so there was no need to organize it in 1 week block course. We decided to relax the timeline, organize it over 8 weeks, so it was much easier for students to access every week little chunk of material than spend whole week doing only that. Next decision was, as I talked already before, using our own server. We used Moodle on Code Reality, and this way we could adapt it as we needed. Yeah, all the learning material was in the form of lectures, and they were pre-recorded videos and tutorials, which were screenshots, videos with screenshots, or text-based with links to videos and links. And the last decision was to support our teaching. We used textbook, which was open AR teaching book, and you will get to know a little bit more about it later. I give floor back to you, Fridolin.
just a small conclusion. I think in the times of the pandemic, it wouldn't have been possible if we hadn't based our work on open source educational technology, and particularly the possibility that we could quickly power up a Moodle with the according open source plugins that we're using and move things very quickly online. Wouldn't have been possible if we had chosen more traditional ways of working things and procuring software or reserving server space, or even ending up in that situation that we had a distributed group to cater for from different universities and externals as we had decided. And they would not have been let into a single Moodle of a single institution. So while the educational cloud and maybe even the educational augmented reality cloud is still clearly lacking, we were able with cloud technology to quickly power up something that worked for us. Yeah. That gave you a brief overview on the 2 courses we have built and the difficulties we struggled with. And hopefully that helps you on your own way forward. Thank you.